All right. If everyone's here, I wonder, do you want to start off the meeting? I'm just kind of here because I was asked to be here.
Okay.
Fine. That's fine. I will
So
start off.
if not,
That's
I got
totally fine.
questions.
Okay. So, uh, where to even begin? There's so much to unravel here. It's like a ball of yarn. Um, Obviously, we've received a lot of complaints from individuals. This is not anything to do with Vasari, by the way, although I think it was stupid he quit and he admitted he was stupid as well. Whatever. This has nothing to do with him. This just has to do with the fact that we just don't feel like there's a lot of unity between officers and the players. We don't feel that we are where we should be in raids. When we went into AQ40, we had new officers at the helm, new guild leader at the helm, and it really didn't feel like a lot of people did their homework to the extent that Wonder would have done it. We used to be a top 5 guild. I think we're in the top 20 now. And I understand that like speed running really isn't something we care about, whatever, but that is the meta, and unfortunately we have to accept it. I don't personally enjoy speed running, but if that's what it takes for people we enjoy playing with to be happy, then that's that. That's what we're going to do. I think the problem with not understanding that is that some of you just don't really interact with some other raiders, so you don't understand how they feel, and they're kind of let down by leadership, by the lack of doing homework, the lack of excitement, the lack of enthusiasm, the lack of engagement. And for me, at least, that's been the crux of my problems above and beyond any sort of loot, anything. Um, that's really it for me, and you can
Yeah,
continue.
I would jump in and say, so why is it the first time that all of us are hearing it, right? So, like, my first question for the day is why was Coco given an ultimatum to the past leader to you guys who would guild quit? And if there have been so many issues in the guild when we needed a new leader, why did, and you guys thought we needed a new leader, why did you not consult any of the officers or have an open and transparent conversation about these so-called issues? And then why are the two of you operating through back channels instead of being open and honest and transparent to the officers and the raiders in the guild? You're creating
Like it,
issues by not being transparent, which is something that I've talked to Wonder about multiple times, and I said it from day one. You need to be as transparent as you can be, and I don't feel you guys are being transparent with the rest of Eminence leadership or the raid team at all.
Well, then Coco hasn't been transparent with you either. Wonder has been having conversations with him off and on because it's really not a Deer issue. It's really not an Alex Smith issue. It's, between Wonder and Coco. And this has been going on for a while. I have also messaged some people, like I said, if Mogar was here, I would love to put him on the spot as well. I have a message dating back, like I sent him a message because he apparently accused me of ninja looting a tanking cloak from him, which is ridiculous given I wasn't master looter, and it definitely wasn't there unless he knows of some 500 IQ Shadow Priest meta where I would use a tanking cloak. Like, he didn't even respond to that. Then I looked up to the message before that, and it's about communication and why he doesn't respond to me. Nobody here really responds to me. You have probably been the best person, Alex Smith, of, shall we say, your group of friends to respond. No one has ever communicated with me. I've always felt excluded. And that's the mantra that the Raiders feel as well. And that's not what our
So
guild is
who
about.
are the raiders? Like, give some examples here.
Sure. Basically, I would say everyone in the weekday raid was ready to leave and start a new guild because that's how they feel. They aren't happy. They are not happy. We've spoken with people, I speak with people on a regular basis. They aren't happy. Go ahead and ask any of the weekday raiders. They may be nicer to you because it's to your face than what they would say to me, but that's how they feel.
I think that's kind of an exaggeration, but
Yeah,
sure.
I would agree.
Go,
Like,
go
I mean,
ahead and
that's not based
consult.
on the conversations that I've seen, the screenshots that I've seen. I mean, you guys are messaging some raiders and painting a different picture of what went on with the conversation that Coco and Wonder had, because we've all
But
seen
also,
screenshots of what happened.
what
Like you
is the
said that
difference?
Coco's not. Hold on, Claire, one second. You said that Coco's not
Oh,
dealing with people, when in fact that's literally exactly what he's doing. Wonder, you
What it
stepped down.
what
Hold
did
on. You said that Coco wasn't dealing with people, right? Those are in the messages that you're sending to raiders, right? Not the message that you posted anywhere. These are private messages that you guys are sending in the back channels. Again, goes back to you not being transparent. So you're saying that Coco is not dealing with people, when in fact that's exactly what he did. The reason that Wonder stepped down and the reason that Wonder 3 separate times tried to make me the GM, and I told him all 3 times no, and I told him the last time you should give it to Coco, is because he's not holding people accountable. He doesn't make decisions. He tries to please everyone, and he's not holding anyone. Like, he's actually not dealing with people. All he's doing is agreeing with everyone, and then we never make a decision. he stepped down because, in his words, I'm not doing a good job being the guild leader.
I'm the one that told him to make you guild master. I'm the one that told him to step down. Like that, you know, and I feel very sorry that I did that as well because I've created this mess now. I personally feel like I failed the guild through that as well because there's a lot of, shall I say, pent up anger from other raiders. And yes, it's not every raider. In fact, you have a group of 5, 6 friends that, you know, will probably end up leaving with you if they choose to do so. I mean, I get it. It's
Who
not
said that
every
we were
raider, but
leaving?
I need.
Why didn't you just
I don't
assume
know.
we're
You
leaving?
know what? Based off of Venus calling me the Gestapo or Hitler or whatever
Venus isn't
today
in
and
the guild and
spamming
hasn't
Wonders the
raided with us
bitch
for a long
and
time.
being told,
He said it
no,
one
you
time,
know
by
what?
the
He
way.
is getting that information from. He's saying it. You know what? That's fine. But the fact is that you guys have this other channel because again, you guys are exclusive. You are obviously feeding him this information. So we have in Stormwind that Wonder is being called a bitch. This and that. Venus is not part of the picture. Like why
Then why
does he
did
have to
you
be part of
message him in
this? You
game?
know what?
You talk about being part of the picture. Multiple times you said that you wanted to step out, right? So you said that you were you were upset about loot issues. Who made the decision
Yeah,
for
the
Nugsy?
scepter wasn't supposed to go to Nugsy per our guild meeting that you were not in.
Yeah,
But Coco was
but
in.
why were you making the decision? You're not on
I
the loot
wasn't making
council.
the decision.
You said
Actually,
that you were in there
Gracion's here
having a
right now.
conversation. Dracion made the
What do you?
decision. We asked Dracion. He said Nugs. We said, who's getting the scepter?
Well, that you know what? When we
We didn't
had a
even have it. Nobody even
conversation one
talked
night,
about
it
it
was
last
supposed
night.
to be Coerton,
Hold
is
on.
what I
Hold on,
was told.
Hold on.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so the decision was that, and I actually asked Wonder multiple times on that. It's like, hey, do you think that we should give it? We should talk to Nugsy about not doing or giving him the scepter. I was like, because originally I talked to Corton and told him, I said, hey, you know, can you pass the Locomere to Deer?
Yeah.
Because you know I have you on the scepter right after Nugsy, and this was 4 months ago that I had this conversation with them. Obviously, we haven't seen a scepter in 4 months, so I just wanted to guarantee that you got Locomere, and then afterwards, obviously he can get one, but he would still be granted to get Scepter next, which he is. I have it
Okay.
posted that he's getting Scepter next, and that was the conversation I had with him. He said he was good with it. So if
Okay.
he's
Well,
having a
again, talking
problem,
about
So then why are we upset
transparency,
about
that's
Nugsy
not.
getting it when he was
He
literally number
he already
one
got
from
a
day
big
one?
ticket item, Alex Smith. There's
Brooch
lots of
isn't a
other
big ticket
people who do
item.
not have it. He
Brooch
also
you
has
use on
Scarab
trash.
Brooch.
Yeah, Brooch you use on trash. You're going
That's
to use it on
we
a
still
boss.
we categorize this together, and I did not categorize Scarab Brooch. I did not categorize any of these, by the way. These are from you guys. You guys categorize it as a big ticket
No, it
item.
wasn't.
So
None of
all
us
the other
categorized
healers think
these.
that this is messed up, and they think they like there's a running joke with all of the other healers in this guild that Medsy and Nugsy get everything.
Who
That's
makes
it.
those
People think
decisions?
Kogar gets
Who
everything.
makes those decisions? Who
Not
makes?
me. I
None
don't
Yeah.
make
of
them.
us
Do
I'm
made
glad
I?
I
the
don't make them.
decision.
And I
Dracion,
have
do you
I
make
have
that
nothing against
decision?
Nugsy either.
You clearly do. I mean, look at the
I
tone of your voice. Like you're
Then
getting
that's
upset.
fine. Oh,
I
own
did
it.
okay. I didn't
Oh, and what? I haven't
make
made a
the
single one of those
decision.
decisions.
No, I didn't make the decision. Okay, the one mistake that I will say that I made, well, two technically, was one not being clear on actually giving or saying that Nugsy wasn't going to get the Scarab Brooch. I didn't make it a big ticket item from the beginning. That's just something that was done, and I'm basing the first couple people who got items off of the list that Wonder did before I even became an officer. He showed me the list of people that he was forecasting. I honored that and then went from there. So Nugsy was originally that first person. It's
Correct.
like with me, I was the first person to get Don Julio's hat, but obviously I wasn't there the first time it dropped. But I wouldn't even have given it to myself; it wasn't there. So I was just honoring what was originally there. Now the
Which
Scarab
goes
Brooch.
back to why
So then,
the
how do you say that
forecasting
we're
is.
giving stuff to the cronies? Wonder made that decision originally.
Well,
I'm,
Then
Wonder, then you have to
Dracion made
explain
that
that to me
decision.
then, because
So
that's
then,
not
why
what
are
you
you
said
getting
to
upset
me.
at us? So you two guys
Well,
need to figure out
you
what's
guys
going
just
on for
brought something to
yourselves.
light, didn't you? And this explains why
But
I
exactly,
told him to
so
give
the whole
guild
thing
leader
is
to
like you're
you because
upset.
people pleases people.
So then,
Like
why do you want
obviously
him to
there's
be?
some part of the
Then why do
story.
you want him to be the guild
You
leader
know,
then?
cool. I'll go ahead and be guild leader. Apparently, I'm the only one here who could be assertive. Besides you, you don't want to be guild leader. That's fine.
Because
I
that's
will
not in the
take it.
best interest. But it's not in the best interest for you because you're playing from emotion. Like you got upset 2 weeks ago and didn't come to our raid last
Really?
week. Yeah, Because you got upset 2 weeks
You know
ago
why
because
I
you thought
think?
you were up
Because
for an
I was
item.
told I wasn't forecasted or prioed on anything, even
I
anything.
mean, I'm not going to be a jerk. You're a shadow priest. I'm a hunter. I'm not forecasted for anything
You know what?
either.
I
I got one
was
ring.
treated like a freaking queen in this raid, and I said to everyone, I was very surprised. I was in a raid with
So
Get
then
Carried,
you're upset.
Nora
Bitch.
Classic,
Shut
Turbo
up.
So
Bus,
that's the
and
thing
they
is like
literally
you're
treated me.
upset.
They were like, "This is the way you should be treated."
But
You guys
you're
don't
upset
like.
because
I
you
understand I
think
play
that
a shadow
people are
priest,
mistreating
but
you.
this
And
is
they're
not
not.
conventional for
They're
how you
treating you
treat a
fairly.
person.
You're being treated as fairly as anybody else. Like
Yeah.
we're
Okay.
see, you
I
think that
don't
we're
think
making all these
anyone
Let
loot
is really
decisions.
treated like a
We're
queen.
not
please let
making these
Wonder
loot
talk.
decisions.
I'm done here. I'm done. This is between you guys and Wonder. Apparently, I don't have all the
But it's not
information.
because
I
you stepped
wasn't in
into
Loot
it.
Council. He
You were the
asked
one
me
that sent
to.
the
He
message to
asked me
Coco. Wonder
to.
didn't send that message. He didn't talk like that.
Wonder asked me before this conversation. I was originally not
If
coming in here
you
for a
do not
reason because
have
that's not
information
me.
to field requests and tell us from people, then you should not give misinformation when you're responding to them.
Well, I would know if it was misinformation because I only know what I'm told. And nobody
Again, you
really
should be
communicates
directing
with
that to
me.
the person
Then you
who's
should
actually
look
charged
at
with the
both
loot.
sides of the thing.
Both sides of what thing?
Both sides of a story. Like if somebody says something happened, then you should go directly. That's what communication is. That's why Wonder stepped down, because whenever somebody said somebody else did something, he just took them at their word. He didn't really go talk to somebody else, right? And I'm not trying
Well,
to
I
say
wouldn't
this
think that
because
Wonder here, who's being actually quiet or telling me to be quiet myself right now, was not telling me the full story. I'd expect Wonder, a person I live with, to tell me the full
then
story.
you
So
can't get
obviously,
upset at us because again,
Listen,
we didn't make
I've
these
talked.
decisions.
That's
I've
fine.
talked to both Coco and Wonder. All right, I have a great relationship with every officer that's ever been in this guild, every raider that's ever set foot in an eminence raid, and I will tell you exactly what was told to me by Coco and Wonder. So the issue kicked off because Coco, Deer, Dracion, and Wonder had a conversation about Nuxie getting this mace. They talked about giving it to Corriton, and no one, not a single person in that meeting, could be bothered to really relay the information and find out if Nugsy even cared if he would go second or anything.
That was
And
what
then
Drake
it got
wanted to do.
left for 4 months and it dropped and no one knew what the fuck to do. 2 officers thought it was going to Nugsy, 2 officers thought it was going to Dracion. Listen, at the end of the day, we are put here to do a job. Our job is to make sure that every fucking raider in the guild knows where items are going. They don't have to know where every single fucking item's going.
Absolutely.
But can we not get the fucking weapons and trinkets and the best pieces together?
Stupid.
It's happened
literally-
every phase.
We
Hold
were
on,
in
dear.
this meeting, so you
Please
get
let me
it.
talk. Let me talk. It's happened every phase. It happened in phase 3 with Millies. It happened in phase 4 with the Warriors. And now here we are again in phase 5 with the healers. Now, I'm not saying it's any one person's responsibility. But at the core issue, it's a loot thing. Now, it evolved out of that, dear, when the next morning you took away everyone's perms and then issued Coco an ultimatum. Granted, Coco
I did
talked
not do
down
that
on
to
you.
Coco. I wanted to be.
And you know, Coco shouldn't have had he shouldn't have said the things that he said to you. I mean, you know, I'm not defending Coco. His interactions with people one on one have been notoriously bad. All right? That's fine. That's a fair statement. But the issue is, guys, and what I feel like none of us are even really, you know, getting at is that when we don't do our jobs and loot is not verified and we don't double check each other, this shit happens. It happens all the time. Like, we can talk about being top 5, being top 25. Who gives a shit? Like, people play this game for loot. Like, sure, there are some guys out there like myself who just show up to raid high as shit and have a good time and don't really give a fuck. But anyone in the weekday raid who tells you they don't care about their loot is lying. Like, if we can't get the loot right, then fuck the raid strategies, fuck the recap meetings, fuck everything else, because we won't have a raid team. Like, but the issue is like it's no longer just about the loot because Wonder and Deer have feelings about how Coco handled Visari, and then Visari going around and talking shit about eminence, and then all this other stuff. Like, it's not just about the loot. Like, it was, but
But
it's
they never
devolved into
told
more,
anyone. We
and that's
can't
where we
help
are
with that
now.
if we don't know. They never
I
said that to
know, and that's my
anybody.
next point.
So
Like,
they can
listen,
how can they now become the leadership when they can't even be transparent with the other people in the leadership? And then they go and do
ahead.
back channels. Like you guys are literally messaging raiders saying, "Hey, this is why we did it." Saying, you know, we asked because of loot and because of all these different complaints. This is the first time we've ever heard about
and
having
yes,
all of
you
these
know,
different
I haven't
complaints.
heard anything about loot complaints. But
So
you know what?
now
You do a fantastic job.
Exactly,
You
but
rogues
what
in
I'm
check. The other
trying
people
to
don't.
it's just
what I'm
us.
trying to
So
say is that, like, dear, if people like, I feel like I've told you this before. I smoke a lot of weed, so sometimes I get my conversations mixed up with people. But I know
You
I've
are
said it
good.
before in a weekday officer meeting that if people relay information to you over DMs, in WoW, on Discord, whatever, it's really important that you communicate that information to the right officers. If all the
And I
healers
did,
have
did
been
I not?
mine, if all the healers have been mad for
And
weeks,
within that meeting, I explained that it's a running joke that Nugsy gets everything. I like Nugsy. I enjoy JT. I did BW Ultim yesterday. We were totally cool. We're fine. Like, that's not the problem. The problem is, and I brought this up in the meeting, the same meeting where Dracion said that he was going to talk to Nugsy just because I said, I don't know if Nugsy's going to be happy with you taking away Scepter from him. And it was going to be taken care of. I thought we were going through the proper channels because you know what? I don't deal with loot. I'm not accountable for anyone's loot like
But then
other
why were
people
you
are.
talking about loot?
So,
And why did he say, "Why is Nugsy going to be okay with you?" And talking to you specifically, you taking Scepter away from him. It's Dracion's decision. Like, why is anybody interfering in what Dracion's doing?
because
Like,
what Rotom
Nugsy's
is
been
saying
on that
that
list for
wasn't
4 months.
communicated, and it wasn't
what
communicated.
I'm saying, Alex, is the same thing that happened every time that we have every loot. If you look at every guild split, every loot that
I
piece of
get it.
loot that went out wrong, it's always because of this. It's
Who
always
has been
because of something
consistent in
falling
every
through the
one of those
cracks.
decisions?
I
Who's
mean,
been
Wonder
consistent
and
in there?
Dracion are, but what I'm telling
No,
you is
Dracion
Coco
wasn't in the
getting
other ones, though.
demoted has nothing to do with that at this point.
But I think
The
that
loot is the
does.
thing that kicked it off, Alex. The sorry talking and shit about us on other discords, all this
So then we
other
bring him
stuff.
in. So we bring him back. Like we should bring somebody who's
I mean, I don't have anything to do with that,
like
man.
literally
He's not
shit
in
talking
any sort of
everyone.
power. He's not.
But
And
why?
this is
Why
not
bring
really
it back in the
saying,
for you.
guild?
Sorry. If it is for anyone else, that's your problem. I don't really care.
I'm just saying, I
Clearly
just
you do.
want us to do what we need to do. I get it. You guys are grown adults. You don't have the luxury of sitting around the house all day like I do. I get it. You have jobs and families and all this stuff. And Drayston, if you say that you told Corrigan and everything like that, then I'm going to take your word for it. But at the end of the day, I don't care who's the GM. I really don't feel like this was a GM problem. Sure, Coco was a little brash, but who isn't? I mean, he was dealing with fucking retards. How long do we keep Mandel brought around? Like anyone
I
would
don't
get to their
telling
point, you
people
know
to
what
read
I
it.
mean? Well, I mean, he is, or maybe not like
He talks too
mentally.
much and he has a dual ADHD. Okay, like that's what he has. I don't appreciate you calling him a retard, but
Well, I mean, that's fine. Point taken. But it remains the fact that anyone, when dealing with 100 people, trying to make sure everything is uniform, is going to get frustrated. Sure, Coco could have done a better job of handling himself, but at the end of the day, all this drama kicked off because of us, the officers, not the GM, not following up and making sure that everyone was
my issue
aware
is
on
with the
loot.
GM. But the loot was the icing on the cake for me, shall we say?
So the loot that
I heard
wasn't your
something.
priority and was taken care of by Dracion, and Dracion confirmed that. So it's you have a bias, right? You already had a bias because you came into this meeting expecting that we were all gonna just quit. You thought that we were
Well,
all just leaving immediately.
given what Avina said to me, which means information
Is
said that
Avina's in the guild?
I don't see how we can go on amicably. I don't understand. I don't think it's going to work out, quite frankly. But you all can make that decision.
We're adults.
Yeah, I mean,
I would love to
Bobby
with
doesn't
all
speak
adults.
for all of
How
us.
have I not seen that behavior here?
You're
Yeah,
saying that I haven't been an adult?
Have Claire. However, other people have not via text. It's very, very indicative.
But that's via text. We're talking here, so let's not talk about things that are outside.
Beings. You're still human beings. Writing is just as much of a platform as voice.
Completely understand, but you're talking about us, and you're saying people here tonight are not being adults. So who here specifically is typing to you currently?
I'm saying over the course of all this, people have not been adults. They've been condescending to other
Listen,
people.
I'm
But
sorry if I'm
Humanizing
on
upset.
how?
I'm sorry.
You said
if I'm
earlier we don't
upset.
interact and don't talk to people, so how can we be condescending to people if we don't talk to them? Right? Whenever I was in the
I'm
guild, like,
talking about the guild leader problem here, and I've spoken
so
to
then you're
Coco
talking
about
to
this
Coco
before.
specifically. So then say
Yes,
Coco.
who is
Don't
in
say
here now?
us. You said you
You know what?
guys. You didn't
Forget
say
it.
Coco.
I don't matter in all this. This is a Wonder issue. Like I really don't matter. I was only asked to come in here because of Wonder. Okay.
But dear, you
guys
took our
paint me as the
perms away.
villainous
That
or
matters.
whatever.
Like you
Yeah.
obviously had
You-
It
feelings
doesn't.
about this.
You know what? I don't matter. I don't. Okay.
But you did, so it does. Do you understand that? Like you did an action and it mattered.
Wow.
Okay.
So we're the ones not being. I mean, Wonder, look, man, you have to do what you have to
This is
do.
very mature.
Like,
If anybody's not acting
what-
like an adult, it's definitely Deer.
Yeah,